What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to the TRU Raider Podcast, and I am pissed. I am absolutely pissed after this stupid game with the Browns versus the Raiders, where we made hedeursanders look like a legitimate starting quarterback, where we made this Cleveland Browns team look like they're not just an awful trash team, right? And all phases of the game looked like absolute garbage. Our defense is the only thing that even tried to show up, but even at that, this defense looked like trash. And I'm saying that we need to absolutely fire everyone, right? That means I want to see Chip Kelly fired. This offensive coordinator, highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL, cannot call a game to save his life. I want to see Geno Smith benched, right? And the only way that we see Geno Smith actually get benched is if we move on from Pete Carroll, right? I think that Pete Carroll has made awful decision after awful decision after awful decisions when it comes to our roster. If you look at what happened when Jordan Meredith got injured, right? Jordan Meredith got injured, and this is the fourth quarter. The game's already over. And we have rookie Caleb Rogers, this guard that has been inactive, healthy scratch all year long. We have Caleb Rogers running out onto the field, and they stop him, they pull him back, and they put in Alex Kappa. Why do we have in garbage time, Jesse with the follow salute? Why do we have in garbage time, we have Alex Kappa going in when he was the worst interior offensive lineman all year last year? Why do we have Alex Kappa going in to play at all, and we never even give our rookie guard a chance? This is garbage time. There's no way at this point in the game that we're even close to winning. The score was like 24-3, and we can't even put in a rookie offensive lineman, right? And it's not just because of that. It's just simply over and over and over, what we have seen from this Pete Carroll-led team is that we get Jackson Powers-Johnson. We don't start him at center. Instead, we move him over to right guard. We put in Jordan Meredith, who's never played center in his whole life. We put him in at center because it's going to be better, right? Okay, let's give this a chance. We get out there, and what happens? Jordan Meredith plays absolutely horrible at center, and Pete Carroll just sticks with it. Pete Carroll made the decision to go out and get his guy Geno Smith, who has played like absolute garbage this year. He leads the league in interceptions, and why are we even thinking about this? Why are we even considering Geno Smith to be a starting caliber quarterback, right? Chip Kelly cannot call an offense. That's fine, right? And everybody's saying Geno Smith is a problem. Yes, he is a huge problem. You know what's a bigger problem than Geno Smith? Our offensive line. Why does our offensive line look horrible? Well, let's see. Pete Carroll and his son, Brendan Carroll, who's the offensive line coach, decided we're going to take this offensive line that is actually working at the end of last year, right? I think we were ranked number 6 in the NFL once we put Jackson Powers-Johnson in at center for pass protection, and I think it was 16th for run blocking grade, right? Okay, cool. It improved significantly. Let's come into this year and let's just play musical chairs. Let's mix it all up. Pete Carroll and his son, Brandon Carroll, making horrible roster decisions right out the gate, right? And then we got Chip Kelly. He's worse than our offensive line. This dude is calling a college-level offense. He's making mistake after mistake after mistake. Like a couple weeks ago, we did a QB sneak on 3rd and 2. QB sneak on 3rd and 2, right? Today, the entire game, we were like 3rd and 19, 3rd and 20, 3rd and 17. And almost all of those third downs, Chip Kelly says, let's run the ball. What are we doing? Our red zone cannot get it done. The only reason we even scored 10 points in this game is because Ashton Genty scores a touchdown in garbage time. So they were just kind of letting things happen. And what it comes down to is that we need to fire these coaches. We absolutely need to fire these coaches. Chip Kelly does not deserve to be a Raider. Highest paid offensive coordinator in the league. Only put up 10 points, and it looked like the entire game that we were only going to score 3. This guy is averaging less than 15 points per game. Ranked number 31 for points per game in the NFL, and he's the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league. What are we even thinking? What are we even thinking? Letting this man still have a job. Then we got Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll seems lost, right? He's going to go into this press conference right after the game, and he's going to be like, "Oh, I think Gino did a really good job, and we just and it's going to be a bunch of bullshit, right? Because this coach absolutely, he's the game has passed him by. Pete Carroll seemed like a good move. You bring in the veteran coach that's going to try to patch this thing up and fix it. But what it came down to is Seattle moved on from Pete Carroll for a reason. The game has passed the man by. He is so stuck on Geno Smith being his guy that even a couple of games ago when Geno Smith was injured in the fourth quarter and he's limping, the dude could not even walk. And what happened? We don't put in a backup quarterback. No. We're going to run Geno Smith out there, even though he can't even walk. We have Aiden O'Connell. He's finally eligible to come back from IR, and he's listed as inactive today, right? Just constantly just not utilizing our people correctly. Ashton Genty has had games where he's had less than 10 rushes. Brock Bowers has had games where he has less than 5 targets. Like, what are we doing, you guys? What are we doing? Right? People just keep saying, embrace the tank, embrace the tank. We don't want to tank for several reasons, right? One of the reasons is that when you tank, coaches don't want to come here. And we need a new coach. We need a new offensive coordinator. We need a new head coach. We don't want to tank because players don't want to come here, right? Players don't want to stay on the team. They're like, I'm going to waste my whole career with this bullshit. And we don't need to tank because we suck so bad that why would we even consider tanking when we can't win a game, even when we try? And yes, we are trying because Pete Carroll keeps insisting on putting Alex Kappa out instead of Caleb Rogers, right? He keeps insisting on running Geno Smith out there when he's obviously injured. We're making decisions from our coaching that are obvious that we're trying to win games, and we can't. And that's the biggest problem, right? It's not that we're just losing on purpose to try to get a quarterback. No, that's not happening at all, right? And Ari went out on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, and he started making some statements about that our front office staff is safe, right? And they are not going to get fired. And that there's a huge disconnect between when it comes to GM and coaching staff. That, John Spytek wants to go out there and play our rookies, develop our rookies. And Pete Carroll wants to play our veterans and win. Now, Ari is an insider. Ari is a credible source. And looking at what's happening, it's pretty obvious that our front office and our coaching staff are not on the same page at all, right? So what it comes down to is that what I want to see and what we need to see, Raider Nation, we need to see heads roll right now. Right now. I get it, right? Maybe our front office is saying, look, wait, hold on. We're not tanking, but our coaches suck so bad and Geno Smith sucks so bad that let's just let this thing play out. Let's let it play out. We'll get a good draft pick. We'll move away from them in the offseason, and we'll be able to pick up a quarterback maybe. Maybe that's what they're thinking, right? But, we got decisions like Brock Bowers was injured after the week 1 game with the Patriots, right? He injured his knee, and it was a significant injury. We played him anyway. What are we thinking? Playing him anyway. Maybe jeopardizing his entire career. Then, in this game, we played Brock Bowers for 2 or 3 weeks after that before we finally actually let him sit and heal. This game, we had Ashton Genty in there in garbage time. And he gets injured. It's what are we even thinking, man? What are we even thinking? We need to have our star players not get injured on stupid shit, right? What I personally would like to see, I want to see us fire both Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly right now. Tonight. Tomorrow morning would be fine. Fire them right now. Bench Geno Smith. Put Patrick Graham as our interim head coach. And just play out the rest of the season. Finish it off. Move on next year. See what we can find as far as coaching goes. Right now, I'm not even in a position where I can even think about who's the next coach that we should line up, because honestly, I'm pissed. I'm absolutely pissed. I really thought that the move was going to be to hold on to Pete Carroll and Geno Smith for at least 2 years. And I thought Chip Kelly is the guy that needs to go. At this moment in time, I am saying absolutely all of them need to go. Absolutely all of 3 of them need to go. Gone. Something's got to change here in Raider Nation. Something absolutely has to change. And if we continue competing, just repeating the same mistakes over and over, expecting different results, we need to stop putting a Band-Aid. We need to stop putting a stupid-ass Band-Aid on all this shit, right? Because we're not going to be able to pull in a Geno Smith and a senior citizen coach and just magically win, right? We need to actually commit to getting a young head coach, preferably offensive-minded, who the game hasn't passed them by yet. We need to get a rookie quarterback. We need to actually draft a quarterback. And I'm not really thrilled about the quarterbacks that are coming out in this draft, right? Mendoza shows some shine where he's got the measurables. He's got good vision. He can read defense as well. There's some things I like, right? But I haven't seen enough from him to just be convinced that this is somebody who can just come in and absolutely change the franchise. And I hope that he is. Besides that, Ty Simpson's all right. Moore is all right. But I don't really like this draft class. Honestly, I like Julian Sayin from Ohio State, but he's not coming out this year. CJ Carr on Notre Dame, he looks pretty good from what I've watched. But also, he's not coming out this year. Both those guys are ineligible for this draft. And so what are we going to do? Are we gonna go out there and we're gonna build the trenches, right? Because that's what I'd like to see, right? I'd love to get a quarterback. I would love to get a quarterback that's actually good. But I don't want to just go out there and get any quarterback. Look what the Colts did when they picked up Anthony Richardson with the 4th overall pick. And now they have Indiana Jones that's actually playing good for them, right? I don't want to just go out there and just get a guy because we're in position to get a guy. I want us to actually get a guy that's worth getting. And if it's not this year, then what we need to do is draft one of those tackles from Oklahoma, right? Draft a tackle in the first round, get a guard in the second round, like defensive tackle maybe, right? Start building our trenches. We need to absolutely build up our trenches to a spot where when we do land a quarterback, they can actually do something. Because right now, when Geno Smith is a bad quarterback, right? But when you have an offensive line that can't stop anything, the Browns had 10 sacks on the Raiders, man. Like, when you can't stop anything, how can you expect anything from this, right? How can you expect not even a mid quarterback, right? A quarterback that kind of sucks but can kind of also kind of get it done. How can you expect him to do anything, right? When you got Chip Kelly, who for some reason we made him the highest paid OC in the NFL, even though every time that he's coached in the NFL, he's been complete dog water. It's like these guys can't get anything done with the O-line, but I don't know that they could without an O-line, right? If we don't fire Chip Kelly, then we need to bench Geno Smith, because somebody, whoever wants to keep Chip Kelly in the building, whether it's John Spytek, Tom Brady, whoever it is, they need to prove that he can get it done with a different quarterback. If Pete Carroll wants to just convince us that Geno Smith is his guy and he's worth it, then we need to fire Chip Kelly and And Geno Smith would have to prove that under anybody else besides Chip Kelly, he's going to play well. If they cannot figure that out, then they need to get rid of everybody, because this is stupid already. This is absolutely ridiculous. I swear, man, if somebody doesn't lose their friggin' job over this, I don't even know what to think moving forward about any of this. The only thought is, if nobody loses their job over this, that they're just waiting for us to lose, and then they're going to fire all three of them in the offseason and go use the high draft capital for something, right? All right, you guys, I got to go pick up my son, man. Pissed off. Another Sunday wasted watching the Raiders. Man, it won't always be like this, but it was today, man. Like always, I love you, nation. I'll catch you guys on the next one.